Alex Calise, and we are reporting live from Winter NAMM 2020. I'd like to welcome my first customers of the day. We have here the mad professor himself, Bjorn Juhl, and Tomo from One Control. So thank you guys so much for coming today. Are you enjoying the show so far?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh.
Immensely.
Immensely. Awesome. Well, it's just begun, so we have so much good stuff to see here at the NAMM show today. But we want to focus today on your new amp that you have out. So it's called the BJF-S100 amp.
No, that was the other one. We don't have that one with us. In that, I took the mid-60s, but I'm approaching the 70s now.
Okay.
So that's why it's black.
Okay, so it's come back. Okay.
It's black because
Okay.
it's back in black or something like that. No, but this is the later sounds from the 70s, and we can get into the sounds of that if you want to.
That would be fabulous. So
Okay, so should we start?
Yeah. So
okay.
it's a 100 watt amp, and tell us a little bit about what all of these lovely knobs and switches.
Okay,
do.
I'll tell a short story about each channel. Okay, the first channel is based on a sound I heard from a band named Plankton, and there was this guy, the guitarist Emil, and he had the biggest clean guitar sound I've ever heard in my entire life, and it was just amazing. I want this, and so I kept this in my mind, and eventually I poured it into the sound.
Right.
And this is a sound that makes a guitar sound almost like a grand piano because it has a rich mid-range, rich treble without being piercing, and firm bass. Now, this is of course based on I should say that this guy, they run the best Marshalls with the best tubes, with the best speakers, with the best cables, and the best echo plexes, and
Right.
the works. And they also happen to be have the greatest sound now. So I want to take this sound, and maybe we can demonstrate this a little bit. Can we play something? So this sound, I mean, it's like a huge 100 watt Marshall sound. This is the intention, anyway.
Right.
And we're talking about the great clean sounds. Nobody talks about Marshalls doing that, but they should be famous for it. Because
Right.
But anyway, so what I'm thinking about that was that, okay, we can get the EQ, right? If I can just take the signature parts of that sound and draw out the kind of abstracts that would appear in my brain listening to it. You say, okay, we need to have this kind of behavior in the mid-range, this kind of behavior in the treble, and all that. We also need to have a dynamic distortion. Now we're looking at the clean sound, but what if we increase the gain a little bit like this? Can you play something? Still sounds like clean. But I would prefer to say that clean sounds, there are no clean sounds for electric guitar because all great clean sounds for guitar are distorted in some way because
Right.
it creates shimmer. Now it does this, the best way of doing that is doing it dynamically and all the time.
Right.
And this is why you can control distortion with your hands when you're not.
Right.
You can make it clean and or distorted with your hands. That means taking what the guitar gods said back in the 70s, don't try this at home because you need to have the hands.
Right.
And I'm thinking, what if one would take that sound in your hands and invert that, because we're now in the future, and we would take that and give it back to all musicians to say that now you can have sound in your hands because sound in your hands now means control of sound in your hands.
Right. Right.
Instead of having godlike skills.
Right. Right.
But back in those days, only the high-profile musicians could have great sound. But we're thinking that with this, even students can have the amazing guitar god sounds.
Right, right. And I was going to ask you also, so it kind of functions as like a multi-effects pedal to some degree as well, right? Because obviously you you are a pedal maker as well. So I'm wondering.
But I'm also an amplifier designer.
Right.
So therefore, it's pretty straightforward, as I said, that guitarists are so conservative. So what we have gain and master, but then a 4-band EQ, just like you find on a guitar amp.
Right.
So you have treble, bass, mid, and presence, volume, and master volume. But what he also has is, as I said, because this kind of sound in the 70s was common to use tape echoes or even tape recorders to overdrive amps because they were too clean. So I thought of building in an echo into the amplifier. It hasn't been done since Dynacord did it in the Dynacord Rex.
Right.
Well, basically, they got to be too heavy having a tube echo with tapes.
Right.
The maintenance of that is equal to having a fine motorcycle.
Right. And I mean, how heavy is this thing? It doesn't look like it's very heavy.
No, it's about 1.6 kilos. So you were saying like a guitar pedal? No, I don't think so. As you said, we had the first channel. It's like a typical amp with the typical controls. And we're talking about the user interface. This is very important. Whenever you show something like this to a musician, if you have, when people say that EQs are not doing enough, we need to have active EQs and give it on to the musicians. It was not understood by the musicians. They felt that, oh yes, you have lots of control, but the useful sounds are within very limited range. And so it made amps with extreme control of the EQ were never very popular. So what I've done here, I have done a custom EQ to make the best possible sound according to sound memory.
Right.
And I mean, this is, you absorb sound always. Like you hear on the radio, you hear on the TV, you hear on your computer, you hear from the local pizzeria, whatever. As soon as you hear something good, you put it into your memory because you liked it.
Right.
So that's channel one, and we have another channel too, which I modeled after the. I remember the days when there was this old hippie that owned the Marshall and the 4x12, and you get to borrow it. Because, I mean, I was 15.
Right.
And of course, the Marshall came with a hippie.
Right.
Okay, so he would then say, you don't need any distortion pedal, because at the time we thought that you have to have a distortion pedal. It was handed down. Like, you have to have a distortion pedal. But then the hippie would say you don't need one because it already makes the sound. So, and they did, because these non-master Marshalls, like owned by the hippies, they would distort already on 2.
Right.
And then just get louder.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking, okay, that is amazing sound. So that is something I want. Can you take some? And then I thought, okay, the range of this would be to the possibly first master volume amps. They were not commercially available. You had to know a guy to go to, and you had to be rich enough to pay him.
But not anymore, right?
Yeah, but then you would have this kind of dynamics that was very complete. What's the max distortion you can get?
And it cranks too. It's 100 watts. I mean, it's pretty big sound.
Okay, but about this with 100 watts, it's like this. Today's demands, as opposed to what was available back in the 70s. Back in the 70s, you could get these amazing sounds, but only at one level, which would usually prove to be either too low to play with drums, because the amp didn't have watts enough, or it would be too loud to play on most venues, because you had to play it so loud that it would distort. And of course, it helped if you struck harder, because the more input you get it distorted. So Anyway, this was limited in terms of where you could get the amazing sounds. You could get amazing sounds, but it was not portable. So something that is more becoming increasingly important is that maybe you live in San Francisco in a nice apartment, but you can't make any sound.
Right.
Because the neighbors. And then, but you still want to have the same playability as the guitar gods.
Right.
But at a reasonable volume. So this is why you and then of course you go out to that club outside, hence San Francisco, where you can find a club where you can actually play 100 watts.
Right.
Yeah. Right. And then you need the power, but you need the playability of this to stay at regardless of volume. This is a concept I'm working with: freedom from volume.
Right.
Where you can set your volume.
No, I love that. And then as far as the price, what does it normally retail for?
I think this will be the same price as the BJF-S100, which means probably $500-600 or something. But that's reasonable.
That's very
it's
reasonable.
Almost like you can ask your parents, "Can I have one?"
Yeah,
and they would say, "Well, you have to behave for 1 year."
Right, and it's not like you're lugging around like a Marshall head or something. You know, it's a lot more compact, more portable.
Yeah,
so
that could be a benefit.
Yeah, but I think that's all the time that we have for today. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for talking with us.